and welcome back to the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. Today, we are here joined by a powerful voice in leadership and personal transformation, Gada Ahmed. Gada is a HR specialist, leadership and career coach, corporate trainer, and a VP of the International Coaching Federation Kuwait chapter. With more than 20 years of experience in human resources, talent development, and leadership coaching, she has developed professionals under uncover their strengths, sorry about that, build resilience, and walk boldly in their purpose. But today we're going to dive even deeper. Gata will help us explore the saboteur inside, that voice in our head that can either hold us back or propel us forward. We'll talk about how to recognize our saboteurs, how to shift into the perspective of the sage, and practical tools to build mental fitness through intelligence. PQ. This is going to be a conversation about identity, freedom, and living in aloha fully aligned with God's purpose in our lives. But before we go any further, can you briefly explain to our audience what is the core differences between the saboteur and the sage, and how can we start to recognize which is the one that leading us? Thank you for being here, Gara.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so glad to be with you today. It's a pleasure to be with you and to talk about a very important topic that I really love, positive intelligence. I'm not sure if not many people aware of this topic, but as you said, inner saboteur, sage, brain. How can we have muscles? How can we train? We go to gym to take care of our body shape. What about our brain? According to a positive, intelligent, very interesting book, we have two brain. So what does that mean? So we have the negative side and the positive side. The inner saboteur who's trying to support us or to the survivor, let's say. And the positive side, which is the sage. And we have five sage powers. I'm gonna talk about it in a bit. So, but first of all, and we have lots of surprises for you today. We will talk about the inner saboteurs, and Michelle, maybe she can talk about the surprise at the end of this sessions about how to discover your inner saboteur yourself. So now we will just give you a brief about the 10 saboteurs, inner saboteurs. Then later on, if you are interested, you can just grab one paper and pen and you can rate yourself in a scale from 1 to 10 how you can see yourself in this saboteur. Is it the dominant? Because out of 10, maybe you have two or three saboteurs, but there is one is the dominant. And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about. So let's start with the inner saboteurs. The main saboteur is the judge. When we grow up, when we were kids, we were naive. We don't know anything about judgment, anything. Then when we are close to family, when we go out to school, judgment starts. So the judge is the main saboteur. How do you judge yourself? Your brain is either your best friend or your enemy. They always tell us, be positive. Okay, how can we be positive? First of all, to know which part of our brain we are functioning from the negative thought or from the positive thought. So this is very important. So let's say start with the judge. How do you judge yourself? The inner critique. When you judge yourself, are you um, have let's say empathy with yourself, or maybe you are nice or you are very nice with your friends but you are tough with yourself. So it's very important we see how we talk to ourselves. And I advise you today after this session to stand in front of a mirror for 1 minute and pause and look to yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how can I see myself? What can I see? Can I see that I love myself? I hate myself? Some people say I cannot stand in front of a mirror. So that means they have lots of guilt, shame, maybe trauma from the childhood. So test yourself, or maybe ask any of your friends who really need this exercise for 1 minute in silence, and have a look. All the emotions will come with you. This is very important. So this is the dominant, usually the judge. Now let's move to the second one, the controller. How many of you sometimes we need to be in control? Maybe you, the wife, the husband, maybe the leader in the office if you have a team. So sometimes we want to see, how can I give myself as a controller, one from 1 to 10? How can you scale yourself? This is very important. Sometimes we need to control our kids, or the husband, or the wife, or the even if you go out to hang out with your friends, I want to be, how come you go without me? You should tell me, and much more. So it's very important to see the inner saboteur. And when I talk about inner saboteur, I want you to think about it's like inner voice coming in silent and asking you to do something in a negative way. He's trying to tell you, I'm saving you uh, from something. Like, for example, I'm in control. When I'm in control, maybe I feel that I'm scared that I lose my reputation, or I'm scared that something happened and I'm not aware of. So it's fear. So this is very important to know what is the message coming from this inner saboteur. This is number two. Number three, avoider. How many you've seen around you, like if there is any conflict, they don't want to interfere, they want to be out of the pictures. Okay, and this is also, when I talk about inner saboteur, it's already linked also to the personality types, but we will not talk about this part today. But what I'm trying to do is, when you play the role as avoider, when you have this voice, maybe you don't need confrontation. How many people, or let's say couples, they are always quiet and they don't talk, they don't want to confront, right, the other partner? Then that leads to what? Maybe they can get divorced, maybe they can have lots of problems, fighting all the time, or your sister or your brother, or any of your relationship. So it's very important to know which part, which saboteur, when he's coming, try to find a name for this saboteur. So the first thing, find a name, read the message, why he's coming, what he's trying to tell you. This is also important. Now, so far, three saboteurs. Let's talk about also restless. Restless, what is that? You know, those people who want to be in party, then after party, they don't want to miss any occasions or any possibility to enjoy. They always cannot focus on one thing. They want to be everything. For example, if I'm in a meeting, okay, I feel this meeting boring, so I will leave this meeting to go to another meeting, or maybe to travel. I remember, just to give you a quick example, one of my colleagues, we were in a workshop. He attended the workshop the weekend. He traveled to another country to see some friends. Then he came the following, after the weekend, like Monday morning, to complete the workshop. He doesn't want to miss anything. During the break, he went to see his team. So he's not giving himself a break. He want to attend all the events. So you are putting more pressure. And all these inner saboteurs lead to what? More stress and anxiety. You cannot be happy. And why we are studying this in leadership? Because it's very important to avoid stress. We are in a daily basis under stress, complexity life. We have lots of changes. So we need to know how to pause. So today we'll talk about the power of pause as well. So far we are talking about four. Are you counting with me? Hopefully you are scoring from 1 to 10 each saboteur, so we know what is the dominant saboteur at the end of the session. Number five, the victim. I'm sure you've seen this example around you, who always play the victim role. Everybody against me. Why they are doing this to me? And start crying, the drama queen. I'm sure you've seen this at home with your friends. Everybody against me. And he always lived in a life of negative thoughts, complaining, shame, stress. So, why inner saboteur is important? Because we need to be happy. We need to get rid of all negative thoughts so we can perform. And at the end, we will talk about what are the outcomes when you talk about sage powers. So if you are counting with me now, we already covered five: the judge, the controller, the victims, restless, and the victim. Now, quickly, I will move to the other fives. Now, when we are talking about the other five, stickler. And I had this saboteur, stickler, which means is looking for perfectionist. Everything should be perfect. As a leader, this put more pressure on me as a leader or in my life in general. So you have to pay attention. If you are a leader, are you putting pressure on your staff? Because if you are looking for perfection, you are putting pressure on them. This affect their well-being. They will affect their. You are increasing the burnout level. So you have to be careful, and you also increase the stress on yourself because you believe if you are doing everything perfect, then there is no mistakes. Nobody is perfect in life. We know that. So it's very important that we pay attention to which saboteur is the dominant. Number seven, people pleaser. How many of us, or maybe people around you, you can see a pleaser who cannot say no? Let's go out today. Okay, I cannot say no. I will go out with my friends. My parents, they want something. Okay, the kids, the husband. You are not saying no to anyone. Why? Because you want to please everyone. What about your agenda? Your health matter. So it's very important to pay attention to the power of saying no. This also, I give sessions or webinars about only this topic. So how to say no? Your health is matter, very important. So please pay attention to this. And number eight, hyperachiever. We are very close to number 10. Hyperachiever, what's this? I want you to think about it. And after we talk about the 10 saboteur, I want self reflection. When I talk about hyperachiever, who believe that the more you achieve, it means this is success. So you do, let's say, a master, then PhD, you write a book, blah, blah, blah. It's good because you believe when you achieve more, you will be more successful. Okay. But you need to have work-life balance. How you balance your life. Are you putting more pressure? Because this can affect the stress, the cortisol level now, because the majority of people now they have high cortisol because of the stressful life that we have. Okay. And what else? We talk about eight and hyper rational, number nine. What's hyper rational? How many ladies they always complain, my husband is not giving me enough time, he doesn't have the emotions, he always think about money, etc. Because he is already hyper rational. He only think about logic, numbers, facts. He miss the emotion factors, and even some ladies as well. So we always have to have balance, emotions, the hearts. Okay. um, there is some interesting thing in enneagram personality type words say that when you make a decision you have to think your three central intelligent centers, which is the mind, the heart, and your gut. So if you make any decision with your heart only, it might be not good, or your heart is not enough. So you always have to think of the three intelligent centers in your body, and this is very. And sometimes when you, if I want you to self-reflect to many decisions you made in your life, maybe some of them you already made a decision through the heart only or the mind. So today is more about self-reflection. I want you after this session to learn more about yourself. And this is the beautiful of Aloha that we will talk about awareness in a bit, because I believe that we always judge people. We always judge ourselves. What about self awareness, which is very important for any person? And the last one, we talk about nine so far, and the last one is restless, who cannot rest, who always seek novelty. It's hard to stay present. And he's in a meeting and then a different meeting without concentration. The first thing we learn in coaching, you have to be present 100%. It's not only to listen to the word, this is maybe 30%. You have to listen to the body. You have to be fully present. And when you are fully present, you can focus, you can learn, and you can share the experience, and you will know more about the person in front of you. Sorry if I made it a bit long for the 10 saboteurs, but now I just tried to give you a quick idea about what is inner saboteur. And the first thing you need to think is my score from 1 to 10 out of these 10s. And Michelle will give you an idea about the surprise at the end of this session about the assessment, if you can share it also. Do you have any question, Michelle, at this moment?
Well, now I actually scoring myself, I can see, like the controller. So my
Mm-hmm.
high points, right? The high ones
Uh-huh.
is controller, stickler, people pleaser, and hyperachiever. So those are the four that I can see that is the higher ones out of the 10.
Interesting,
So,
interesting. So when you do the assessment, then you can
mhm.
compare.
Yes. So
Okay.
that's so good.
Okay.
And you were going to go over the sages
Yeah.
now? Okay.
Quickly, I will not go in details, then I can answer more about it later on. So now I give you the inner saboteur, which is we have two brains under the positive intelligence. Usually more almost 80%, according to Shamin, the author of the Positive Intelligence book, which I recommend that all of you read this book, amazing book about positive intelligence, that 80% of the people, they perform under 80% of positive intelligence. What does that mean? That you need to know which part or which brain you are using, the inner saboteur more, who's controlling you, or the stage. The stage, when we are talking about the stage, to make it very simple, it's about the moment that you feel that you have the inner voice telling you to grow, to be creative, to perform better, to do good things. So the positive thoughts. The sage is coming to give you the power. We have five powers under sage to tell you to flourish, to make it simple. Like what? To explore, to have curiosity instead of just talking about blaming, fear. No, think about the positive part, to have curiosity, to explore new possibility, to navigate. Okay, to have empathy. I believe empathy is very important. We should have always empathy and compassion to deal in our life, especially with ourselves. When I ask you who is number one in your life, what can you say? Think about that. We, if you ask me, I am number one. It's not, doesn't mean I'm selfish, but I have to take care of myself to be able to take care of the people around me. So I cannot keep criticizing myself. I have to think that to reduce the inner critique, to focus on how to flourish, how to use the power that we will talk about it, like empathy with myself before people, to explore, as I said, new possibility and much more that we'll talk about in a bit. Over to you, Michelle, if you have a questions before we start.
No, go ahead. That's great.
So now we give people the two sides, the two brains, and you have to figure out which part of you of PQ you are using. Is the stage coaching you and giving you a positive message to flourish, or the inner saboteur is controlling you and putting you on negativity so you cannot perform, you cannot be creative? And this is important in leadership because I need my team to perform. I want to be creative. I want to introduce many methods. So I have to think from the sage part.
Yes. So good.
Mhm.
That is so good. So, can you give me the name of the author again of Positive Intelligence? I
Shamin.
want to.
Shamin, if you just
Could you
Google it,
spell that
Positive
out?
Intelligent Book, it's Shamin. It's an amazing book by Shehzad Amin.
Could
I
you
can share
spell
it
that out?
with you.
Yeah. Could you spell that out just so
Shehzad,
that?
Shehzad, Shehzad, Shamin, Chmint. Can
Okay.
share it with you. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
amazing book, and he always offer courses to people from time to time about how
Oh,
to
that would
be
be
positive
great.
coach, positive intelligent coach.
Nice. We'll share that with everyone. I'll drop it into the comments once we're done, also, so that we can get to that. Oh, that's so good. So, we know the saboteurs and we know how the sages come across. I would like to believe that um, I can be controlled more by the sage part of me and not the saboteurs. That's where we want to be. But I wanted to go and ask the questions what I do with the Aloha Always framework. And in Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story is that I ask the questions in the affirmations and actions, leadership and love, overcoming obstacles, health and healing, and the acute awareness. And that is how I tie in all of the podcasts so that everyone can see how the Aloha Always framework works in so many different um, situations and all across the globe. So, if you don't mind, we can just go right into the questions of the Aloha Always framework. How about that?
Okay, sure. Would you like to start with the affirmation first?
Yes, we will start with um, affirmations and actions. So,
Okay.
so many of us wrestle with the inner saboteur voice. And that's what I was saying. I would like to hope that my sage side does better, but we all wrestle with that. What affirmations or intentional actions do you recommend for silencing the saboteur and strengthening the sage voice within?
Okay, very interesting questions. For affirmations, you always have to weaken your inner saboteur. So you might say, I choose curiosity than fear.
Mm.
I'm capable, resilience, resourceful. I can learn from that. Okay, so this is very important when you think from the stage, the positive side, like there is a voice is coming to you, is trying to coach you how to be positive. This is the sage. So this is the affirmation. I choose curiosity over fear in this moment. This is also very important. I'm capable, I'm resilient, and I'm resourceful. This is also very important. And when you talk about the actions, I want you also to practice every day. There is something we call PQ reps. So every day you can practice. Maybe we are doing it in every day, but we haven't noticed that. Like when we breathe, when we take a deep breath, okay? Think about this affirmation and say, and take a breath. Let's say, let's count now. We'll breathe, inhale 4 times, then we hold 4 times, then exhale 4 times. So let's do this exercise quickly. Inhale, exhale. You can do this. I always do that between 5 to 7 times in the morning. And talking to myself, what is my sage intention for today? I have curiosity for today. Do I am gonna have, let's say, I want to do what with my team, for example. I want to listen to them instead of keep judging them. This is one thing. Because sometimes as a leader, we always want to control the people. We want to judge, you did this wrong, give tough feedback. Maybe I can ask them, what do you need to achieve this target? The tone is different, the way is different. He will feel that you are supporting. Show the empathy. the sage power, one of the sage powers actually. And always start with your day with maybe asking yourself, it's all about self reflection in the morning. I'm waking up, like when you wake up, do I have negative thoughts? Who's the inner saboteur is controlling me today? It will not happen within a day. You need to practice this, let's say, for 6 weeks.
Right.
Maybe twice a day, you can ask yourself which saboteur I can feel. And when you wake up in the morning, I want to control everything, my husband, my wife, my kids. I will go to the office, I will kill my team, they haven't achieved the target, something like that. We have to reach the KPI. No, try to think, because the more you talk to yourself, the more you have self awareness, you will be able to handle things, especially if you have a team, because you are in charge of their well being. To make them more creative, you have to work, you have to give them psychological safety environment to allow what? To allow the innovation. Mhm. So all these like small, I think, practice and allow visualization. Like I wake up in the morning and to imagine like any small metaphor. I will be in the office with my team. So what is the first thing I can start with? Do I have to judge them or give them a feedback about the bad report they submitted? Something like that. Or I will start with a smile, because you are impacting, you are influencing your team. So don't say that if I'm tough with them, everything will be achieved. No, you can achieve it, but if there is a mistake, they will not tell you until you discover it yourself. But if you allow this environment for people to talk, for innovation, to share the experience, then some people might have excellent ideas, but they might feel fear to share it. But if you allow the psychological safety environment, this will encourage everyone to participate, because they will know that even if they have mistakes, they will not be a tough judgment. You got my point? This is
Yes,
just the
that's
small
really good.
things that we can share about the actionable, and there is plenty, any things that we will go through now.
Yeah, that is so good, because you have to look at to recognize the saboteurs, and go into, like you said, like actions, like, okay, what am I going to do? You can't just be like, oh, well, let's just react, you know? And, but that's so good how you said changing that tone, being different about it, thinking about it, and being like, where am I right now? You know, so good. And
Very
so in leadership,
Mhm.
the L in aloha, leadership and love. Leadership often starts with self leadership. How do saboteurs show up in leaders? And how can cultivating a coach mindset help leaders lead with both strength and love?
Interesting. When you talk about love, this is very important. Some people say, no, we have no emotions at work. We have to be tough with everyone. No, be human. Humanity. You start with lead with the humanity, lead with empathy, compassion. This is very important. Sometimes people are late. Why he's late? This is unacceptable. Okay, why don't you go and check? Maybe he just came from a doctor appointment. Maybe he has a family issue. Sometimes people they don't realize that. So talk to them when he feel that you are listening to him is different. I remember when I was coaching one leader and he had this problem. Then he moved from one company to another company. He said, my leadership style is very difficult, tough, and I don't know how to change. With a new company, I don't want to face the same problem. So I told him the first 2 months or even 3 months, just talk with them, not about KPIs. Be human. Grab coffee, sit with them. What are the things that you like? What are the things? Humanity is it's very important. How many kids you have? Start talking about social activity. You know how they think, because here by this you are building trust. When people trust you and you are inspiring them, they will follow you. But when you are tough from day one, no, it's not about leadership, it's about empathy. This is very important. Help them to know more about, maybe they have inner saboteur and they don't know. Yani sometimes I go to the office, I tell them, okay, today, let's say, once a week, let's play this game. We will have a whiteboard and everyone will talk about sage reflection. If you have any sage reflection or power this week, come and talk about it because it's about what? It's about innovation, it's about empathy. Tell us how we can use this sage power. Then everybody share, then we learn from each other. I share with them my inner saboteur. I told them, guys, 15 years ago, I was looking for perfectionist, and this was I'm always looking for perfectionist. It's not good to be a perfectionist. And by time before I go to the positive intelligence course, it was like for 3 months, I learned a lot. I learned that we can change ourselves, but we cannot change others. We can impact them. So that's why we have to, as a leader, we have to work on ourselves to be a better version. So because we have to influence and the new generation, because we are not working with one generation, as you know, we are working with different generation. The new one now they are looking for a role model, influencer. They don't want someone just to give them orders. No, they will not accept it. Okay, so I don't know. I'm talking from my perspective in the Arab world. So you have to be influencer to sit and coach them because the leader has different hats. Sometimes you are a manager, sometimes you're a consultant, sometimes you are a coach. So you know how to play and which hat you have to wear because your role is not to give order. You have to delegate, you have to help them to be a better team and to perform. And to perform, then you need to work on the sage powers. This will help you to work with your team to reach the peak performance. Hopefully, I
That
answer your
is so
question.
good. Yes, that is so good. And like you said, we're working with a different generation now. You know, I see that you can't just order them to do something now. That kind of thing.
No way.
They do. Yeah, no. they they're like, no, I'll just go another direction. They would rather not listen to what you have to say. They want to follow. If you can influence them and show them that this is a better way,
And they take
then
care of their well-being more than us. Yani, if you compare different generation, the new generations, they for well-being for them is, I think, priority. Yani, sometimes they take 2 days off. They need to take care of themselves because this is the generation of the new technology or AI. So they read, they always know more about things that maybe more than our generation. So that's why you have, and they believe they can find all the information in AI. So we have to play it in a way that we respect their mind. We know how to handle each generation.
yes, so good. That is so good. I love that. So, overcoming obstacles, the O in Aloha. We've worked across industries and cultures. What has been one of your biggest personal encounters with a saboteur? And how did you overcome it?
Control. I was in
Mm.
control for some times, long time ago, before being a coach. I've been in the coaching now. I'm an ICF International Certified Coach, PCC. So before that, coaching is a game changer. It changed my life because I learn a lot and I work on myself before I start working on others. So maybe sometimes control, because especially if we have a project and we have a deadline, we have to do this. I put more power, push or pressure on them to do things. And I said maybe to be looking for perfection also was not easy part, that I want everything perfect, outstanding presentation, project deadline. So then I start when I learn coaching. That's why I said the power of self-reflection is very important. I start asking myself, what is the reason I have this inner saboteur? What he's trying to protect? Then I found that maybe fear of failures, maybe fear of bad reputation, that we haven't achieved the target or we haven't submit an outstanding presentation to the top management or the clients. So then I start realizing that no, there is a message. The inner saboteur is kidnap us and telling us, I'm trying to protect you, but he's not protecting us, but he's putting more pressure on us, and we reflect that on the people in front of us or in ourselves. So I start asking myself the why. So I want you also to think in this direction. Start with why. For example, if you, when you say that I have saboteur judging, I start judging my manager, I judge my husband, I judge my kids. So what are you protecting? What is the fear? What is the message behind this? Then you will have lots of answers. And I want you to think in this, like whatever the saboteur is, start with the why, not the issue, the person, yourself. Start with the why. What is the message behind this? Why I'm doing this? And think about the how. How can I solve it? Then you have to go back to the sage that we discussed, the sage power that we discussed at the beginning. So, and have self compassion. Don't always be tough to yourself. At that time when I have uh, control, I was tough with me. Maybe I'm nice to them, I should be tougher. I should control them more. They should not do a presentation without coming back to me. Or for example, no, I want to be perfect, so I will do a dry run for my presentation 10 times because I want it outstanding. I'm presenting to the executive management. So I'm putting pressure on myself. So the self reflection will give you lots of messages. The blind spots, you can say. What is the blind spots in myself? I learned a lot through coaching. That's why I'm advising everyone to read this book, um, and even read about coaching in general, because you will learn a lot. And this, you can do it also if you have kids, if you have a team, if you have a husband or a wife, you can start helping the people around you. And this is the beauty of the ripple effect of coaching. You start with one person, then it affecting the all the people around you. Then we say that in organization we have ripple effects. It's affecting the individual, teams, groups, then the entire organization, which impact positively on the performance and productivity of the people. Okay. Hopefully I answered the
Excellent.
question.
Yes, that is excellent because, like you said, it started with you first and the control, how you had it, but it changed once you started coaching and it started with yourself. Because once you're healed,
Exactly.
and that's one thing I always tell people too, is that when you're healed, then you can actually start seeing that effect in other people because now you're not speaking from a place of hurt, but a place of healing. And I remember when I was trying to coach and I was brand new. I just started like from the hurt though. I wasn't completely healed. I just wanted to teach them what I knew, you know. And I knew that I could do this because I did it. But that's not where you should be coming from. I was like, you know, I know how to lose weight. I know how to do this. You need to do this and no. I was in that controlling part. And so the more that I learned, the compassion, the empathy, all of that came later as I coached myself. So as a coach, there is healing in that. You know, you start learning, and that's so good that you've seen it, and then now you know that you can show it to other people, that you start from that place. So yeah,
Exactly.
read the book, get the coaching in yourself first, and then you can go from there. So the H in aloha is health and healing. So mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness. And how does positive intelligence, PQ, help us heal from self sabotage and build a healthier relationship with our own inner voice?
You want me to focus on sorry, the awareness part, you mean? I didn't
Health
Did you
and
hear me?
healing. Yeah, health
Ah,
and
okay.
healing. So, in the health and healing part, how does that?
Okay. I think also vulnerability is very important. This is very important part when you talk about a problem and you manage to heal out of it and in front of your team to say, I always go to the team, I tell them, I know I had this problem before, but now the inner saboteur is out of my life. Is not completely because it's every day, but you have to control and you need to focus with through practice that I mentioned earlier. How are you making a decision from the sage power decision or from the inner saboteur decision? Because it make a big difference. And what kind of PQ gym, yani routine you are using. You remember when we said that how to weaken your inner saboteur? Always when you have this voice, you have to find a name. So I'm advising everyone is watching us now, put a name for any inner saboteur you have. So when it comes, okay, you this is the name, why you are coming, start talking to him, because we have, it's part of us. We cannot say no, I don't have inner saboteur. No, it's part of us. We have to accept it. Acceptance is the first part. So when it comes, okay, I know you are here. Oh, Gada, you don't go to gym. What is the point of going to gym? You will lose 1 kilo, 2 kilos today. It's okay, go tomorrow, for example. So then we always face this, or any other things. Don't go out for dinner today. Stay home. What's the difference? Or as I mentioned, the inter-saboteurs that I talked about in the office. I'm trying to give you simple examples. So start judging others. How many people are judging in the social media? When I start going through the social media, I said, wow, all those people need to read or to have coaching about positive intelligence. They are, everybody's criticizing each other. They are fighting in social media. You are putting more stress on yourself. Please get rid of all this. That's why sometimes I have reset. So I stay one day at home, maybe for a couple of hours, or maybe one day, not talking to anyone. It's time for self reflection. Of course, not all the time because sometimes I'm extremely busy, but whenever I have, it's like the power of pause. When you pause, you can organize your idea, you can organize your life. You will start thinking, why I'm doing this. This reflection is very powerful. And this is very important that maybe I can look for more opportunities or possibilities, not only to focus on the problem and talking about it. Like when I say vulnerability is very important, not everybody can talk about this, but if you go to your team and talk about it without shame, so what, they will trust you more, because this will show the confidence you have. And I always believe confidence also is based on discipline. Mhm. You walk the talk. Since we are talking about leaders today, it's very important that to show your values, because unfortunately nowadays the leader or whatever top management, they say something and do something different. But when they see that you have values and you respect that, then they will follow you. You are talking with confidence about your problem. So they will trust you. They will come and say, okay, help us with that. And this is actually the first thing we learn in coaching, that the first thing is no judgment. Even yourself, when you have something to do, stop judging yourself, because what you think. There is a book about that. So the more you talk to yourself negatively, it will impact you. The more you talk positively, I'm sure you heard this from many people, but it's true. You have to talk to yourself in a positive. That's why I insist. Go to this exercise I said at the beginning. 1 minute in front of the mirror. See how you will talk to yourself. What are the emotion, sensations will comes with you to the mirror? Are happy to see yourself? Are you in love? There is something, maybe something related to trauma from the childhood. Lots of emotions and sensations, it will come with you. The interesting thing about this point, I'm a somatic thinking coach as well. I'm a leadership, somatic thinking, happiness practitioner. So I study different in different schools, because I want to see what is the common ground for all of that. So no judgment, gratitude, acceptance will help you a lot in your life, regardless of your religion. I'm sure all of us, we are practicing this in a different way, meditation in a different way. But I believe all of us, we are in agreement that these are important things. If imagine you are a kid with curiosity to know things without judgment, you will be happy. And these are the things will lead you to happiness. So when you talk about happiness, it doesn't come from materialistic things. It doesn't come from achieving a success. No, it's about the basics. Happy, acceptance, be humble. This will help you a lot in your life.
So good. That is just so, so powerful. That awareness is key. So, awareness is the first step in transformation. What practices can help us recognize when it's the saboteur speaking versus the sage? And how can listeners begin to tune in to their awareness daily?
Okay. I mentioned something at the beginning is like 2, 3 times a day, think about the inner saboteur when it comes. Maybe make it simple. One time in the morning and one time in the evening. It's up to you in the afternoon. So, and ask yourself, self-reflection. What is the inner saboteur I have now? Why it's coming every day? What is the message behind it? Mhm. Today I did something good. Gratitude. Even the small things. Celebrate the small things, the small wins. We don't do that sometimes. Yani I had an operation. I told you offline. I had an operation 2 weeks ago. Okay. Now I couldn't walk for a while, but now thanks God I'm okay. But the idea is to wake up, to open your eyes. You say you are still alive. This is something we don't feel it because we don't see that maybe we are sick. You can walk. Yani, it was difficult for me to walk for the first week. So small things that we don't pay attention. Sometimes there are no electricity, no water. It's minor things, but we have to say thanks God. Mhm. Acceptance. If there is anybody's giving you a hard time, he's a energy drainer. Keep a distance. People keep criticizing you, keep a distance. Those people are yani energy drainers. And I just have a friend, she was complaining about another friend giving her hard time. Tell her, you are allowing her to give you a hard time. Don't complain. I'm against to keep complaining. Okay, the answer is in your hands. Put healthy boundaries. Not many people they can put healthy boundaries or say no. This is also another problem. Breathe. The breathing is the meditations, the voice, metaphor. Imagine today I want to have a sage power. I want to think about creativity. I want to explore new ideas to find new job. This is what? This is visualization. Don't underestimate it. It works. A few years ago, I said I want to go for one conference, and I was working, and I already chased one guy that I would love to go to one conference. Can you help? Then he said yes. And when I post my pictures that I'm attending in one conference, another people call me to attend another conference. So it's about visualizations. So if you have to put a goal, I need for the upcoming 2, 3 weeks to stop my inner saboteur, to witness the saboteur and to work from the stage. So put a power out of the 5 powers that we discussed every day and start practicing. Visualize it. Breathing is very important. Breathing, I believe, it's forget about PQ. Breathing in your daily basis. I'm sure every one of us practicing breathing, meditation in a different way, but we all have the same outcomes to relax, to be in peace, to know how to work from the sage brain more than from the inner saboteur. So think from the positive side, not the negative side. What else? Maybe
Right.
one last thing is I told about this sage scoreboard in the dashboard in the office. I put this in the dashboard. I encourage everybody for 1 week, every week, like 10, 15 minutes to meet together and put some ideas, sage powers. Then we will count how many people already dropped this idea in the sage and dashboard and what was the outcomes out of this. So it's a fun exercise, encouraging your team to do this and to share, because they will not write anything if you unless if you wrote before them, if you show the vulnerability. This is very important for a leader. So remember to be no judgment. Sit with them, ask them how can I help, instead of feedback. Focus on the feed forward. Feed forward is this is for a coach. Put a goal and how can we help you to reach your goal? Not you did this activity or project in a bad way and start focusing on the past, criticizing. No criticizing. I'm sure this will help you a lot. Believe me, this is just the basics today. We were just talking about the basics, but if you need more depth to the practice, visualization, just I recommend to read about positive intelligence. You know, if you do this, like this is small exercise, just one exercise. Okay. Focus, pause, don't think about anything, just for a second. And do this for like 30 seconds. You will feel relaxed, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this is a simple thing, and breathing is a simple exercise. We don't go for a difficult exercise. Go for the minimum. Going to the gym, focus not to. You know, we go to gym, we open the mobile, we check the social media, we eat, we enjoy the minimum. Like when you eat a small sandwich, don't eat the sandwich and check the social media and talk to someone in front of you. Do three things at the same time. Enjoy the test. Enjoy the music. Put some music and listen to it in peace. I'm sure this will help you. So music, visualization, breathing, you name it. There is different techniques, but you need to
That
practice.
is
Yani, if I give you this exercise once, it will not work. You need 6 weeks practice. And I think I have some statistics in front of me somewhere. It shows that, hopefully I have it here. Yes, I would love to share this. This is data. After 6 weeks impact of PQ practice, 90% have better stress management, 95% improve the relationships, and 84 they have better performance on the organizational level. So I want to share this with you because don't underestimate the power of PQ, but you need to allow a psychological safety environment for your team, vulnerability, focus on the stage and share lots of practice with your team.
that is so good. Excellent, excellent. I love it. Could you do me one favor and go over the five sages again, the sage powers?
Sure,
List
sure.
that, and I want to
Yeah,
that to sink into everyone right at the end so that we can have that to focus on before we close.
sure. We talk about the sages power. Number one, empathy. This is very important, and you have to have empathy with yourself before the people around you. Number two, exploration, looking for new possibility, cultivating curiosity. Okay, innovation, bring creativity to the table for your team, for yourself. That's why I said the pause power when you have to reset and stay alone for self-reflection at home. Navigate, new possibility also. Activate the sage powers from time to time and exercise and do more visualizations.
Navigate, activate.
So empathy,
Very.
explore,
Uh-huh.
innovate, what did I say? Activate and navigate. They cover the
Very
five.
good. All right, thank you so much. What a powerful, powerful conversation we had today with Gara Ahmed. We learned that the saboteur inside is real, but it doesn't have to rule our lives. By choosing the sage perspective, practicing affirmations, and using PQ tools, we can quiet the inner critic and step fully into our God given potential. Mahalo Gada for bringing each of those wisdom and practical tools to our Aloha Circle. And mahalo for our listeners. Remember, aloha isn't just a greeting, it's a way of living. So silence the saboteur, listen to the sage, and keep walking in aloha as you live your God potential life. Dara, is there any other way that we can continue to keep in contact with you? Do you want to
My
drop your,
pleasure.
yeah, drop a
Sure, sure.
link?
My email is Coach Gada 9. So GHADA Oh, I forgot. Just write coach first. Gada, GHADA 9 at gmail.com. And please remind
Okay.
them about the assessment because I'm sure you would like to share with them something about this.
Yes, the assessment, right? And you will do the assessment. You'll have a link for the assessment.
Yeah, yeah, I share it with you. Maybe I share it with you by email. So if you can add it in,
Okay, yes,
with,
yes, I
yeah,
remember that. I will add the assessment link to the when I complete it, it will be in the comments
okay.
for Facebook, LinkedIn, and for YouTube, it will be in the comments. And when I send it out to the podcast world, it will be in there also. And so, does that assessment go right back to you also? Well,
No, 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 automatically. It's a free assessment from the Positive Intelligence website. Once they do
okay,
it, they will have a full details about the dominant saboteurs. And I'm here offering anybody interested to have a coaching session only from your participants here. I can offer you free half an hour coaching session in leadership or
nice.
career coaching or even positive intelligence. This is my gift for you all for half an hour.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so generous of you. That is absolutely so generous of you. Thank you
Thank
so
you. It was a
much.
pleasure.
So we'll make sure we drop that in there also. And if everyone, if you want to just drop aloha in there, so Gada would know that you have come from the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. You will know, and you'll get that 30 minutes of free coaching. Thank you, Gara, and everyone. Thank you for joining us here on the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. And until the next time we have another special guest like Gara, I am just so
Thank you.
appreciative of you being here. Until later, everyone, mahalo
Thank you
and
all. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.